Okay, we are on YouTube. Let's go ahead and go on Periscope. So weird doing the multi-camera thing. Okay, everyone, welcome back. Remso Republic Live. We are doing this on Periscope and YouTube, and I wish you could see it from kind of my angle. Typically, when we do it just on Facebook, it's just the laptop here, and I'm looking straight into that. But now I can see myself on two cameras. I don't even have a guest today. We're trying this because of two reasons. One, because Facebook hates the page and hates everything that producer Ryan and I are trying to do. And two, we are pretty sure that YouTube is going to go ahead and eventually either start taking down more of our content, or they're just going to boot us off entirely. And that's really weird because I'm not even the most controversial person online. I really let's be honest. I'm really nobody. I'm a petty commentator from Virginia, and I like to podcast and talk with cool people about cool things. And I don't necessarily say many inflammatory things. I know some people say some of the stuff I've said is inflammatory, but honestly, like I'm nowhere near on the level as so many other people. So it is kind of strange. I will say that I was talking to Ryan, and we were thinking about what we're going to do with some of our future videos and documentaries, and we're thinking about moving on to other platforms. When I was put in Facebook jail and Ryan was put in Facebook jail, we were like, okay, so now we know we've got to get off Facebook and we've got to start using Twitter more often. I got a warning on Twitter for something I retweeted, and I was like, what the heck is going on? So it got really, really awkward, and then things got even weirder. I started, Facebook starts complaining about more of the stuff we've got going on. And then I go on to set up a Minds.com account. Minds.com is pretty cool. Go ahead and follow me at Remso Republic on Minds.com. And then we set up Codius. And Codius is kind of strange because Codius is a platform just for conservatives. So if you think you're stuck in like a Facebook echo chamber sometimes, wait until you go on Codius. And I like it because I met some awesome people. I met Tim Donner's wife. He was on the live show on Facebook last week, and some other cool people. And it's been interesting. I've been able to expand the base. I'm willing to go anywhere and everywhere the people are, regardless as to how many people are on there. But Codius was just really, really weird. And we expand on there. I'm out of Facebook jail, and we're kind of back to where things are. But we need to take advantage of the platforms we're on. Even when we have 0 viewers, like now, we need to go ahead and go to where the people are, go to where everything else is, and just build things up from there. I almost feel like we're building up from scratch, because with Facebook and Twitter starting to crack down, it's only a matter of time before the others do. And I need to make sure that I've got a place to put out my content out there, because we've got some awesome documentaries going on. And I know I'm touching my face a lot. I'm itchy. It's dry and cold out here. But anyway, it's been a long road coming. I knew that they were eventually going to come after me. They've taken so many people off so many other platforms. They've demonetized so much content and so much more. And it's really frustrating, because we make all of our money off social media, essentially. Advertisers wouldn't come if we couldn't connect them just through the podcast. I mean, we have to have social media. We're going to start expanding our email list and everything else to go directly to people. And that's the hard thing with these Facebook algorithms, with everything else. Why is it I've got 2,000 people on Facebook, but I'll only maybe, show some of them my stuff, maybe a couple hundred if I'm lucky per post? It's all you have a fan group, the Remso Republic Nation. So we're entering interesting times. And one of those things that I kind of want to talk about is Volume 2 of Firing Back with Gun Owners of America. Larry Pratt is out today. And I'm sorry, Eric. I keep saying Larry because I saw Larry on Twitter earlier today. And yeah, it's Eric Pratt. Awesome host, Firing Back. Love to sit in the passenger seat for that one. Get to spitball some awesome facts about that. It's a little bit different than Volume 1, but hey, change is good. Change is awesome. And hopefully you'll go ahead and enjoy that. We have had some people kind of flip out recently. They're like, why are you doing these podcasts? Why are you doing these videos? And it's like, because it's fun. Like, the conservative movement has been stuck in white paper lands for so long. It's been stuck in the land of, let's talk about let's talk about all these exponential changes and all these white papers and boring stuff. And what's going on, Bitcoin Whale? Thanks for joining us. the conservative movement has been stuck in think tanks and cable TV. And I was listening to the 1 million subscriber episode of Steven Crowder. And it's really interesting when you look at that guy, because he was really the first online conservative sensation. And yes, invest in Bitcoin. What's the current value of Bitcoin at, if you could tell me? And guys, don't forget, you can talk to me on YouTube and on Twitter. What's the current value of Bitcoin? So 6,500. So it dropped. Did it drop? Because it was at like what, 7,000 a couple days ago. Okay, so it a little, yeah, and that's another thing. The idea of, oh wow, it dropped from 74 to that. It's like anything else. You have a lot of people invest in a given time, then they go ahead and trade it out because it's it's a little bit risky. You bought it when it was that much. You know what? Quick caveat. I was offered to buy a Bitcoin back when they were almost $5. And I was like, this is never going to work. This is never going to be a thing. And now look at it. And I'm looking like the dumbass. And it's so funny. But you see, Bitcoin's a hilarious thing, because that was another, fringe thing that only the super nerds talked about. And same goes for podcasting. Podcasting was a lot like that. Podcasting was, nobody listens to this. And I remember it was Mark Levin. Mark Levin was actually, and you're absolutely right, Bitcoin Whale, cryptocurrencies are the best way to make money right now. You're absolutely right. You're completely on it. There's so many other things online where people can go ahead and, it's this disruptive mechanism. So for those of you just joining in, I was talking about the GOA podcast coming out today. We've got volume 2 coming out. People were like, why is a gun organization doing podcasts? It's the same reason why so many other people go onto alternative platforms. What we live in right now is we live in the age of disruptors. We live in the age where people are finding disruptive technology. Uber was, if you really think about it, Uber is a very simple, simplistic idea. You just go ahead and download an app and you can get a taxi. But when it came out, it was just completely bothering people. So you got to find a way to go communicate with people. You got to find other ways to go ahead and engage in the market that we're doing. And when it comes to entertainment, people don't just want to be lectured to. If they want to be lectured to, they can go read a textbook or watch a lecture. People want a combination of entertainment and information. They want to go ahead and bring everything back down to the end user. So whether it's Bitcoin, where people can go ahead and trade value for value, whether it's a podcast where you're going to the niche area of a certain topic you want to go on to, or anything else, that disruptive technology, those new ways of media and entertainment are completely changing the game. And what we've done is, just in the podcast field of firing back, and I went ahead, and if you go on YouTube, you can go ahead and find the SoundCloud link. You can go on my Twitter and find the retweet that I did for firing back. What you'll go ahead and see is that this was something that was so different than like NRA TV and other stuff. When you think of the gun rights movement, you think of a whole bunch of tell me if this is accurate, if you're into politics or the news at all. Somebody tell me, what's the stereotypical gun advocate? Old white guy with a Confederate t-shirt, couple tattoos and a beard, maybe missing some alimony and child support, waving around his AR-15. Not very sexy. Dana Lash and others made it sexy, but when it came to being entertaining, NRA TV came out and they really tried to make it as engaging and professional as possible. And with GOA, they knew, it's like, okay, we don't want to just copy that area. We want to go ahead and do something good. NRA TV is really good at just giving you the up-to-date news and everything else. But with GOA firing back, what we wanted to do is we wanted to go ahead and provide a story. What we wanted to do is we wanted to go ahead and not just give you the facts, not just give you the lecture and everything else, but go ahead and explain why this stuff ultimately matters, why your right to self-defense matters. I mean, you got, like, let's just think about it. Ciao. Let's just think about it. Government can come for your Bitcoin one day, and they're very lazy. They can go ahead and they'll try and knock down your door. We're living in very interesting times where this type of disruptive moment, where everything is just kind of collapsing down, is just it's blowing minds. And with that comes really awesome things and some really not so awesome things. Some of the not so awesome things are the fact that now we're trying really hard to just move super fast, whether it comes to our actions, whether we could buy something at the click of a button, whether we can go ahead and talk to somebody on the other end of the world. I mean, live streaming as an option was something that was only available to the very powerful, the very rich, and the very few not a long time ago. So when you go ahead and you think of the way that we're processing information, I feel like, and let me know if I'm wrong, I feel like we have to pick a side on everything. And it has to be now. And you can't wait because the next controversy is just a few seconds away. And with this Roy Moore thing, it's I know it's a bit of a strange caveat, but hear me out. Within hours of information coming out about Roy Moore supposedly touching a bunch of teenage girls back in the 70s when he was in his 30s, like let's really think about it. Do we know anything beyond just what the news is saying? Do we? No. No real evidence is out. That yearbook, I'm hearing it was forged. The signature and everything was off. The mother of one of the women that came out and said that Roy Moore molested her when she was 14, she's going ahead and saying she was paid by the Washington Post and everything else. The whole thing just sounds weird. But you still had to go ahead and you had to pick a side. You either hate him and want to bring him down because you just believe everything wholeheartedly, or you're just going to go ahead and stand by him. Ann Coulter went ahead and said, regardless of what happens, all he says is he's going to build a wall. That's some lazy thinking. And that woman tries to tell everyone that she's smart. That's some lazy thinking. It's like, regardless of what happens, he has to win. So where does that lead us? It leads us to the point where we're just not willing to wait for things. The one thing that I've always prided myself on at the website and everything I do is that I'm not a headline chaser. I'll go ahead and I'll go on someone else's show and talk about current events. But ultimately, we get so distracted. We try and jump on every little thing out there. We refuse to look at the facts. We refuse to wait for the truth to come out. So even when we do understand how the story lands, good, bad, or ugly, indifferent, whatever, we ignore the fact that we've already become so like stuck in our opinions and everything else. We refuse to even admit truth when we see it. What does that say about us? We're our own worst enemies. This technology, the way that we're talking to each other and everything else, the way that we're using Bitcoin to buy books on Amazon and other stuff. I mean, this is such an amazing time to be alive, but what's it doing to us? It's become so difficult to just try and get to the fact of a situation. It's become so difficult to just try and not jump to conclusions immediately. What we've done is we've stopped caring about facts. And even when we do try and have a discussion, we're trying to just throw out all our buzzwords and our given talking points and everything else. And we've stopped caring. We've stopped being patient, but we've stopped being creative. All this stuff is beautiful until it stops being that way. And that's the truly disturbing thing about all of this. So that's about it. We'll try and be doing more of these live streams on Periscope, pointing to the Periscope camera and YouTube, everything else. Try and grow this. Definitely. Bitcoin Whale, or whatever your name is. Thank you for tuning in so long. $6,500. That still shocks me. $6,500. And you bought it when it was what? $350? Man, what a crazy world. Anyway, take care, folks.